Hey, what's up everybody? This is Figures of Action Reviews, and I'm coming at you again with another video. Today we're going over the Gamerverse 2-pack of Omega Red versus War Machine. Now, this was inspired by the game of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which I'm very glad that Hasbro Marvel Legends team decided that they wanted to bring figures out covering characters of that game. Previously, you know, with the Gamerverse, we had the Spider-Man Gamerverse figures that came out. That really didn't interest me that much. The game was okay. You know, a lot of people swear up and down by that game. It was like, it's the best, it's the truth, it's the best Spider-Man game they ever played. Look, hey, I don't get into that. I just play the games. If it's exciting and it's fun, then oh well, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this game right here, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, came out in 2000, and you know, hey, I'm one of those 2000 graduate kids, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was that graduate kid in 2000. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so this game came out when I was like 18. When I turned 18 that year. But man, I remember I worked at a furniture store and I saved my money to buy a Dreamcast just so I could play this game. And me and my homeboy Dre, like, man, we killed this game. And then I just kept playing it over the years, man. It just never got tired of it. It's like, before we got all this, you know, all these other games, Street Fighter 5 and incomplete games with constant downloads and all that, we were getting complete fighting games with complete rosters with no downloads of extra characters. We got a full roster right there in our hands when we bought the game the first time. But you know, one thing I want to say is that when it comes to the 2-pack, War Machine versus Omega Red was not a matchup that I thought about. Whenever when I think about like War Machine fighting somebody, it's gonna be Junkbot. Let me get it straight. Sentinel. And you know, I see War Machine fighting Sentinel, but then again, you know, hey, look, it's a random character, so I don't know how to. One thing I will say is I kind of don't know how to feel about this, because out of all the characters that Hasbro could have brought in this 2-pack, they chose 2 characters that they had already brought out as far as figures go. So it, to me, it's like, I wanted this pack, but at the same time, I was like, I already got these figures. And one of the main attractions that got me to get this 2-pack was the fact that Omega Red has extra hands. I know, man, it's just that's so minimum. You know what I'm saying? It's like really? Hands? Like, look, I told you, it's just something about accessories, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, I ain't no accessories freak, but it's like, man, hey, look, I prefer to have more, because you got to remember that Omega Red that came out before this one does not have extra hands. And I think I got that Omega Red at a local comic shop, because they had him, and if I'm not mistaken, he came with a Build-A-Figure piece. Maybe it was Sauron. Not fully sure, but I know I got him from a comic shop, and he was secondhand. He was in a bag. He had all his tentacles, but he did not come with extra hands. This one does. War Machine has already come with extra hands before, so, you know, let's just get him out of the box. All right. So now that we got him out of the box and we got these guys separated with their accessories, pretty much it's the same thing. I will say for the accessories, there's just a minimum amount additional accessories this go around, because we've already had these hands before. Oh, I dropped one. Let me pick that up. So we've already had these hands, these blaster effect hands, but what's sad is that we don't have a blaster effect to go in these hands. So which makes me think that they just keep reusing the same hands for all the Iron Man / War Machine figures that they keep on bringing out. They just keep the holes right here. So I will say that if you do have, you know, the fire blast effects or the blast effects, that you could just push them into here. Or, you know, if you got a little orb or something like that, you want War Machine to hold, like he's charging up a orb or blast or whatever, you can just hold them with hands like that. This is new as far as. Now, what I remember about War Machine is that, unlike Iron Man, he didn't necessarily have his attacks didn't come with like the plasma blast or the beam blast. He shot rockets out, and he lobbed out bombs the whole time. So that what made him different with his play style. And to me, War Machine was kind of clunky, so I didn't play with him. I did play with Iron Man a little bit, you know, because that repulsor blast was just cheap, man. If you got right up under somebody, they couldn't even jump on you. Jumping was not an option with Iron Man standing right below you and doing that repulsor blast. As far as Omega Red, Omega Red feels nice, man. He looks nice too. I see they, you know, they only gave him one head, and with War Machine, that's fine because he has the mechanical face, you know, it's like it's War Machine, you know. He's not smiling, he's not frowning, he's not crying. But the helmet goes well with the body. However, I do think that when you do figures like Omega Red, if you're gonna do the screaming war face, they need that. Also, they need the resting neutral face, which not screaming on the mouth closed. So I think that's why they kind of messed up with that. They should have packed him with a second head, but they did give him extra hands this go around. Now I know. Let's sit Omega Red to the side real quick. So I know that there are some questions about whether or not this is the same War Machine that's just been put out over and over again. And let me just be the first one to say it's not. So here we have the War Machine that was in the retro card, and we also have the War Machine that was in the deluxe. This one came with the James Rhodes head, right? So this was the deluxe. It had no hands because it did have, basically it had all these features just like this one. It's just that I put this on this one. It should go on this one. It also came with these rocket feet, these rocket boosts. So they go under him as if he's blasting off. The hands, actually, like I said, we've seen these hands before because the hands were on this retro card one right here. Now, just because the hands are reused doesn't mean the entire figure is reused. And I'm pretty sure you guys can tell right now the difference in between these molds. This one is a lot bigger and wider than the other two. The other two are exact copies of each other, except for they did the chest, the arc reactor, they did it different. So this one has a more cartoonish effect to it. This one is just, you know, a silver painted effect. When you get to the abs, and because they basically got the same abs, these two, the retro and the deluxe. But if you look at the ab, you can actually see it's different. Way different. You look at the chest plate, you can see that the chest is actually wider on the Gamerverse 2 pack than it is on the retro card. And also the most noticeable, the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads are thicker. Now when you lift these shoulder pads up, just like on the deluxe model, it has the straight color of the shoulders. But when you lift the shoulder pads up on the Gamerverse, it's gray under there. So I mean, kudos to them. The helmets are definitely different. If you can look in and see exactly how, you can look exactly like the teeth. I call them teeth. It just look weird. Look like a buck-toothed kid, but I mean, hey. So, no. To clear that up, these are not the same figures. This War Machine, Hasbro, I think Hasbro actually knew better than that to try to get away with that. I think Hasbro, Marvel Legends knew that if they gave us the same War Machine in a different paint, we'd be like, hold up, wait a minute. Whoa pimping, y'all tripping. Like, nah. So, I mean, they did give him a few accessories, and it's not just a same figure repaint. Does have some reused parts as far as the legs. All these legs are reused. The arms are reused. Now the gauntlets not reused. The hands are reused. The helmet is not reused, and the chest and torso is not reused. But the legs definitely are reused. The arms are reused, but everything else is fairly new. Now let's move these gentlemen over. Let's get you over, and let's bring out Mr. Red. Mr. Red himself, is his turn. And here we have the iconic Omega Red, the man who cannot be scratched and cannot be cut as well, because he has, what was it? Carbonanium? Carbonanium? Yeah, we gonna call it Combinam. Yeah, but you know, it was Russia's attempt. Crazy, right? Russia always had an attempt to recreate a soldier just as deadly as what America made. Red Guardian in the MCU universe, because in the comics he really didn't have powers like that. But in the MCU universe, Red Guardian was more supposed to be like Captain America, which is he had the strength. He just wasn't the same. But when you had the Weapon X program, Russia also had their own weapons program to make their own mighty killer soldier, and they came out with Omega Red. Only problem with Omega Red is that this guy's a maniac. That guy was like, to use him as a test subject for this program, like this dude was crazy, and they were warned that this man was crazy. It was like, hey, don't get this guy superpowers, like please, like no, you don't know who you're dealing with. But they ended up giving this guy, I think he was kind of like he was a serial killer, and they ended up giving him these powers. But unfortunately, like it's supposed to, well, the stereotype is that in Russia they may make it the same, but it ain't the same. And so it kind of got back that, you know, he actually needs he drains life force because his powers are actually, what they turned him into is actually hurting him, and he needs to drain people's life force to stay alive. Now you can see with the difference. I will tell you this, they look about the same height, same size, and they are. The shoulder pads are different. Man, that mean mug is something serious. I will say this though, I would just borrow, let's do that. Can we get away with that? Will it go? Will it? Oh, it snaps on. Oh, it snaps on. So, only difference is that only difference that you can really see, honestly, is that the Omega sign is painted white. And I mean, I got a little small paintbrush and some white paint. Acrylic paint, I could definitely do that. And I can straighten that out, no problem. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have this Omega Red, you can swap heads. And it looks fine to me. So you do get the closed mouth. I mean, his teeth showing, but if you want him to not look like he's constantly raging out all the time, there we go. Let's put that back on there. Let's give you a head, and let's not decapitate you, my friend. Snap back on. Snap on, snap off. Lame and cheesy if you want it to be, but all right, whatever. Turn this guy, guys. Yep. All right. So here we have the two, and the differences are definitely, this isn't the same body. If you look here, look at the butterfly joints on this Omega Red. And then the feet all act the same though. And then you look at the butterfly joints on this Omega Red, you can pretty much tell this body and this body are not the same. They look the same because they cut the muscles almost the same, but they're not. The legs, however, the legs are reused. They did change the knee pads. So you can that's definitely a difference. They made the boots white, the legs white this time, and they gave him a more brighter white when it came to the arms. However, the hands are reused as well. They're the same as these hands, just a different color. This is more of a crimson red, and this is a brighter red. Shoulder pads are different. All that right here is different. You can tell by the size of the accessories on his front. When it comes to the back, the hair is actually on the head. They're not the same color, but you can get away with it. You know, speaking of butts are different, legs are different almost. But the legs are the same, it's just the butts are a little different. The back, this, like I said, the butterflies are cut a little out where you can actually see it more back here. So you can see how that butterfly is on joint on here, which is why if they were given figures butterfly joints as early as this Omega Red, I don't know why they weren't incorporating in the other figures. but that's something for another time. And you can see it back here. So similar, but not the same. So definitely not a total reuse, but at the same time, it's not like we can, they're not getting away from the rumors. They're not gonna get away from it. Hasbro did use some reused parts on this 2-pack, but not for the entirety of the figures. But I will tell you, I like it. I like it. I like they gave him a new look, an updated look. I like how I can swap these heads. I would prefer him to come with a second head. Omega Red having 2 hands, longer tentacles. He's got the tentacles. I wish they would have been bendy wire, but they're not. They're the same tentacles. Come on, Hasbro. This was your time to shine. You could have had bendy wire, man. What's wrong with you? Never mind the background. We're doing something back here. We working, kid. We working. And we have Mr. War Machine along with his predecessors. So deluxe, remember, deluxe model. And we got the retro card. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I'm gonna enjoy putting these. Also, oh, sorry, real quick. Definitely keeping this because it's so nostalgic. I can hear the music right now. You know, especially when you're about to queue up for a fight and you hear that little choo 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 choo. You know what I'm saying? Like you got your characters and they got their characters and y'all about to go ahead up. Anyway, I'm not gonna hold y'all up, man. Hey, you know what? If you haven't played, or if you haven't played in a while, pop in, go ahead, download Marvel Capcom 2 and man, get you a round in, man. But with that, this is Figures of Action Reviews, and I'm signing out. You guys be easy. Peace.